On, it's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Could I get a roll tide inside the comment box? Today is Thursday. It is February 27th. I appreciate you guys joining me. Today on the show, we're going to talk about the inside linebackers, the outside linebackers, or known as Wolf in this 4-2-5 defensive scheme. We are previewing Alabama's positional units as we continue to get close to spring football, which starts next Monday. So that's going to be the meat of our show. We're going to talk a little bit about the NFL Combine as well, which starts today with specialists. You got James Burnap, Alabama's punter. 9 overall players from Alabama were invited to the NFL Combine. I appreciate you guys being here. Remember, these are also uploaded later in the day to Apple Podcasts and to Spotify. But the meat of everything is right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We also have a very active Facebook page, which I really appreciate you guys going to check out as well. So thank you so much. Let me know how you guys are doing inside the comment box. I always like to see kind of like check the pulse, right? So inside the comment box, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your morning? All right. I'm serious. I'm a morning person. I get up super early. You know that. I have the energy. I'm probably feeling like a 9 out of 10 right now. Things are going pretty well for me this morning. So feeling really good and have a lot of gratitude. And I'm just thankful once again for you guys rocking with me today. As we get moving with the show, and we'll jump right into it. Thank you to our 112,000 subscribers, which is still wild to think about. You have some photos courtesy of the University of Alabama. I'm sure you follow the university's official accounts on its social media platforms, but they release photos, right? And this one is great to start out with because I saw this yesterday and I was like, man, it goes perfectly in line with what we're talking about, the linebackers, the wolf position players, and this is Qua Russaw. And I think sometimes when we think about the defense, we talked yesterday about LT Overton, we talked about Damani Jackson, Deontay Lawson coming back, but this young man will only be a redshirt sophomore, and we'll dive more into him. We'll have a spotlight where we kind of dive into what he's bringing to the table. He only started I think it was 6 games last year. But anyways, one thing that I want you to notice in the photos that I'm going to show you from the University of Alabama, these are their photos. Look at the eyes. Look at kind of the expression. Look at the sweat. Look at, there's a lot going on in these photos. And I'm a very visual person. Photos tell the real story. And these guys look hungry. It looks like these guys are absolutely doing work. Not to say that the fourth quarter program they don't always look like that, but I don't know. I'm just getting something like a really optimistic vibe from the work that these guys are putting in. Look, if you watch the Docu-series, which was, the new episode was released yesterday, there was a lot that, they didn't go directly as Alabama wanted it to go. And I think that these guys have had time to kind of marinate on that a little bit and to get kind of focused back into the real standard and real mentality of Alabama football. One of the things that I continue to see is just these guys really appreciate Coach Kalen DeBoer, and they want to play for him. Has the culture changed a little bit? Sure, I think so. But, right here, looking at this, work is work. So it's good to see these guys putting in the work. This is a great photo right here, by the way. Next photo up, you have Tim Keenan and you have Josh Cuevas. So Tim Keenan in the crimson, and then you have Josh Cuevas on the right. These are 2 guys who come back with good experience from last season. We've spoken about the defensive line and that bandit position and how important it is for Tim Keenan coming back into this season. Just that veteran mentality, right? Him next to James Smith. We like that combination, and it's good to have a guy from the Birmingham area, Ramsey, right? Still repping here at the University of Alabama. I love Tim Keenan. He's one of my favorite players, not going to lie. And then you got Josh Cuevas. I think he could be a fan favorite this coming year. Just because I imagine that Ryan Grubb would be able to get creative. We talked about tight ends a couple days ago. And, he had under 300 yards, but in the small opportunities that he had, he looked like he could be a playmaker. And we need a playmaker at tight end. I don't know if he's going to be like an elite playmaker. Maybe so. The point of it is that Ryan Grubb coming in should be able to get this offense and do some more creative things with, the wide receivers, even the running back. I don't know. But Josh Cuevas, I think, is due for a bigger. I put the over-under at 30 receptions for Josh Cuevas. Ryan, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, man. You got the yoga in this morning? That's what's up. Tavis, what's up, man? I appreciate you coming to us from Charleston. Oh, my goodness. It's been such a long time since I've been to Charleston. Bo Riley coming up, having an 8 out of 10 morning. Hell yeah, man. My morning peeps up in here. Max Tooney, Jarvis. What's going on? Jarvis could see it too. Marcus Cottrell, Big Chevy 205. Byron Russell inside the comment box, Larry Large, right? RT Tackle. I like that name, RT Tackle. West Coastin coming to us once again from Hong Kong. That's good. Well, you're already in the evening time. What time is it in Hong Kong? And Sean, what's up, man? I see you as well. Always here. And Fan Funder, which I appreciate. Let's see. What else we got in here? Oh, look. This is Jan Miller. Man, look out. Yo, he looks thick. Because the thing is, we saw Richard Young. They showed Richard Young, I don't know, like last week or something like that. Hey, Ryan just became a Fan Funder inside the comment box. I appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you so much for the support. Yo, with the running backs. Oh, man. Yo, with Jan Miller and Richard Young. I still haven't seen a photo of Jalen Washington. I don't know if he's 230 pounds and 5'9". I'm hoping he's that size. But I think Jam and Richard Young, yo, that's good enough for me. This photo's tough. Yo, look at those forearms. Yo, Jam Miller, he's about to have a big year. One of the things that I want to continue to see is how you utilize the running backs. Antoine's got a new avatar. That's what's up, man. Good morning to you, Antoine. Appreciate you being here. Right? Don't you think he's filled out? You know what I'm saying? Like he's got biceps, the forearms. When you could tell somebody is really strong is sometimes when you look at their forearms, right? And look, I mean, right here, this is a clear indication that he's eating right and he's in the weight room with Dave Ballou. That's your running back. This is your running back number one, fam. Just go ahead and accept it and love it and appreciate it. This is Jan Miller, and still underrated in my opinion. All right, kind of put together a collage in this one. So you got Jameer Lathan up here, right? And I guess he's going to move to that wolf position, right? There's Qua Russaw in the back, right? You have 1 and 2. I don't think that means anything. Parker Brailsford right here, right? And then Keon Keeley right here. We talked about him yesterday. And though there could be like a log jam at that bandit position, we don't know that for sure. I mean, I think you got LT Overton, and then I think number 2 is kind of up for grabs between Keon Keeley, Kelby Collins, and Jordan Renard, right? Yeah, Brian, I don't know why that he's underrated. I don't know why. Southern Rat, good morning to you. It's been a minute since we saw you. Good morning. I hope you're off to an amazing start, and I hope that you're having a fantastic week. Yeah, I appreciate it, Ryan. Thank you so much, man. Love right back to you. I don't know what it is. And the thing about it is he's been here for a good bit of time. All right. So you have 9 players that have been invited to the NFL Combine, right? There's another photo courtesy of the University of Alabama. So Jalen Milroe, and I just put in parentheses for everybody wondering when Milroe will be at the NFL Combine and how to watch the NFL Combine. It's on the NFL Network. But you'll see Milroe on TV doing his thing on Saturday. But you also have Jaha Campbell, who's pictured here. You have Tyler Booker. Hey, we just got Samuel to become a fan funder as well. I appreciate you guys. The point of becoming a fan funder is literally to support me and the overall channel. So that's the point, to support it. Like, that's the caveat, is like just supporting the channel. Sometimes I do have fan funder only message boards like in here. Not all the time, but I would encourage you guys to just think about it. It's only $2.99 per month. It's less than 2 Red Bulls for a month. Think about that. And if you guys like the quality of the content, then please continue to become fan funders. It's pretty easy to cancel. So thank you so much. Jaha Campbell, who's pictured here, Tyler Booker, Q Rob, CJ Dupree, Tim Smith, James Burnup, who's actually competing today, right? The event will run through Thursday through Sunday, and you can watch the NFL Combine on the NFL Network. I can't wait. I love the NFL Combine. And I get it. A lot of people like the Reese Senior Bowl and everything that happens there. I just feel that you can really knock it out the park on the NFL Combine. Really, like, that's why I'm hoping. And I know there's so much on Milroe, but I think this is where I've said this openly. I don't think he should have went to the Senior Bowl. I don't think he had a lot of gain to gain there. That's just my personal opinion. But I think here he does. right? There's not like his intangibles and what he has from a physical standpoint. Yo, he can blast everybody away with what he's able to do at the NFL Combine. I'm actually excited to see Jahad Campbell too, because I think those two guys, like Jahad Campbell is like a super freak. So there's a lot of guys here that I think could increase their draft stock. I think Tyler Booker is going to go off the board, a first-round guy. Q Rob, people are going to be really blown away by his overall athleticism. CJ Dupree, we'll see how he catches the football. Tim Smith, I'm curious to see how he performs as well. I'm not too sure about his overall athleticism. And then James Burnap, I thought he was the best punter that Alabama's had since J.K. Scott. And Marcus asked the question we're all asking. I would imagine Roy and Marcus inside the comment box asking if Jalen Milroe will run the 40 time, and if he does, how fast he'll run it. I mean, I think he was clocked out against Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think it was against LSU. My bad. Remember when he had 4 long touchdown runs? I think one of his runs, I think Milroe hit 22 miles an hour in full pads. So, and someone said that equates to like a 4.3. I don't know. I mean, shoot, if he ran, I would imagine he runs like a 4.4. That Byron, I'm with you, man. Inside the comment box, he's saying like a 4. Yeah, Big Chevy's saying 4.2. I don't think it'll be a 4.2, but I would imagine it's like I would bet it's 4.4. Let's do 4.43. That's what I'm going with, and I'm just guessing too. And Roy, you bring up a really good point. I really never seen him get caught from behind. The only time that I've seen Milroe maybe like go out of bounds is because somebody had a really good pursuit angle on him. But not just like catching him straight up, because once he gets going, you're not catching him, period. Q Rob, this is another photo courtesy of the University of Alabama. He was asked about Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe, kind of just like the next wave guys coming in. And he had this to say about Jalen Mbakwe specifically. He talks a little bit about Ryan Williams, but this is a quote on Jalen Mbakwe. And I thought this was nice because we talk so much about Ryan Williams, and rightfully so, but Jalen Mbakwe, yo, like this guy has it too. I don't know how he's going to be utilized on the field. I really don't. I think he might be like a Travis Hunter, receiver, defensive back, punt returner. But anyways, Q-Rob says this about Jalen Mbakwe. I love this quote. I just like the way he approached everything when I was there. Approached it like a pro. Obviously, he didn't see a lot of the field. But when he was on the field, he made the best of his opportunities. I'll be looking forward to him making more plays. And that's Q-Rob on Jalen Mbakwe. Solid quote. How do you think, let me ask you inside the comment box before we start talking about our linebackers this morning. Are you guys feeling that Jalen Mbakwe plays really 3 areas? Offense, defense, special teams? Do you think he'll still play defense? I do. I think that he's talented enough, and I think they have enough wide receivers that they have to figure out how to get him on the field. That's just what I'm thinking. I think he's that talented to do it. And look, if you guys don't want Ryan Williams returning punts, because I know we went back and forth on that, many times during the season, then put Jalen Mbakwe back there. That could be a good fix. That could be who's returning kicks. Because I don't know who would be returning kicks, because you had K-Law and you had Emmanuel Henderson that were returning kicks. Good morning to you, North Alabama Storm Chase. I appreciate you being here. It's good to see you, bro. But I don't know, man. Watching Ryan Williams return punts was one of my favorite things this past season. I just, some people have it, and he has it. Period. All right. So here's kind of a snapshot and how I've been doing these positional previews. I've been giving like the overview, and then I kind of spotlight a couple guys and bring up a couple different points. looking at the inside linebackers. I'll do the wolf position as well. It's kind of your outside linebacker position as well. So for Bama's inside linebacker, you have a ton of experience. Probably the most experience out of any position now that I think about it. I know like the corners, they return a lot of experience, but the amount of snap counts, there's no more experience. I'm thinking about it because you got Caden Proctor, who has a good amount, Parker Brailsford. Probably inside linebackers is the most experienced group returning in 2025, and I'll tell you why. So tons of experience. And at one point, this could have been one of the least experienced groups coming in, because if Deontay Lawson, if he would have been healthy throughout the season, there's zero chance that he comes back. But he got injured, so he's coming back. He's still not healthy right now. He'll be healthy by the start of the season, but he's not going to, participate during spring, from my understanding. So Alabama then went and got Nakai Hill-Green, right, from Colorado. Very experienced linebacker. I'll talk about him in just a second. And at that point in time, we didn't know what would happen with Justin Jefferson, because Diego Pavia was going back and forth with the NCAA, arguing that he deserved another year because he went the junior college route. And then when he won that case, it made it easy for a lot of guys in JUCO to get an extra year. So now you had Justin Jefferson come back. So that's 3 linebackers that you now have on the roster, right? Alabama did bring 3 freshmen in because each of those guys I just spoke about will be gone next season. And you got a couple guys in between, right? Like a Caden Jones and a QB Reese. And you lost a lot of guys from the inside linebacker room as well. A couple guys that come to mind, like Okoronkwo, Sterling Dixon, Jeremiah Alexander. I think there might have been one more. So here's kind of an overview at that inside linebacker room. Let me ask you, I always do this. On a scale of 1 to 10 from like a talent standpoint, what would you say this group is? 1 to 10, like 10 absolutely elite, 7 very good, 5 need to see a little bit more, 2 straight trash. It's a pretty good room. You get Deontay Lawson healthy. Justin Jefferson's really talented. And while Nakai Hill-Green, he hasn't played in the SEC, he's got a lot of experience. I'm going to show a graphic to you in just a second. See, but a lot of people are very bullish on the inside linebacker room, and I think you should be. And you have experience and you have depth here too. People don't know how good Caden Jones is. That guy is very, very talented. He actually had more tackles than Justin Okoronkwo. And then QB Reese, another guy out of the Birmingham area, but I really don't know too much about him just yet. Trevor's coming in here from LSU. What's up, man? Did you see, Trevor, did you see this? And I just saw this regarding LSU football. Bo Davis is leaving LSU, which I think was he at LSU or was he at Texas? Either way, he's going to the Saints. I thought that was a gigantic gain for the Saints. I mean, that's somebody who Alabama has been wanting for a long time. Where was Bo Davis at? Help me out, undefeated. Either way, when you think about the coaches that you would love to come back, Bo Davis is probably the one that Alabama fans would want the most. That's facts. He was at LSU. That's what I thought, yeah. Him, and then I think Jeremy Pruitt, and then Scott Cochran. But Caden Jones, I think he's really talented, so he'll be kind of a reserve guy this year. QB Reese, don't know too much about him. And then the 3 guys that you brought in this class of 2025 look like this. And then I'll go back and talk about, some of the vets coming back. But you got Daryl Duke Johnson, right? 6'1", 200 pounds. He's a freshman out of Georgia. You got Abdul Sanders, 6'2", 225. I didn't realize how big Abdul Sanders is. He's another guy, another Cali kid, right? And then you got Luke Metz, 6'3", and I've spoken about this. Anytime I talk about Luke Metz, he was one of the guys, even though he was from the state of Georgia, this guy was all Alabama, 100%, never wavered, even went and visited Georgia and has photos with Kirby Smart when he was committed to Alabama and never wavered. So these are your three guys to watch in the future. And you know what? Daryl Duke Johnson, this guy played all over the field. I would imagine that he stays as an inside linebacker, but it wouldn't surprise me that maybe he gets a shot at another position. I'm just speaking because of his athleticism. But when you look to this room, let's talk about these two guys right now, because please remember that Deontay Lawson, it doesn't look like he's 100% at this point in time. So by the start of the season, you're going to get another linebacker. But for spring purposes, these are the guys you're working with. So when I talk about experience, think about this. Deontay Lawson played in over 600 snaps last year. 600, over 600. Justin Jefferson played in 422 snaps, right? Had 60 tackles. Hey, Trevor, I appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, every single show crafted from right here. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And then look at this. Nikhil Green, 699 snaps last year at Colorado with 82 tackles. My point is that you have these vets coming back, which should really bolster the inside linebacker room. And then you have Chuck Morrell, who was working as a kind of a off-the-field coach last year with the inside linebackers. But now he'll be the main inside linebackers coach. So Alabama kind of made like a tweak at the inside linebacker room. This guy's been here already, so it's not like he came from somewhere else. Like the guys already know who he is. But that's a hell of a lot of experience. I didn't even know how much experience it was until I really started diving into it this morning. You know, Carlos, what's up, man? Kyle, you still looking for a Husky player? You know, that might not be a bad idea. I think I'll have to see what happens with spring and what the team reporters say where Duke is playing. I haven't heard anything about him playing another position. I'm just kind of thinking based off his athleticism and based because, the inside linebacker room is already spoken for. We already have our starters. But if Daryl Duke Johnson is athletic enough, maybe you just see where he's at defensively. Now, that's not coming from like any insight. I'm just thinking there should be a position battle, a hell of a battle for the Husky position because that's open for grabs as far as I'm concerned. But for a freshman to come in and compete for that spot, it'd be tough to do. But overall, really good experience coming back for that inside linebacker spot. So overall, I know you guys like Alabama's linebackers. I just didn't think that these three would be here. I really didn't. I thought we'd be kind of working with – I thought you would have to bring in a transfer. And then I thought it would be maybe Justin Okoronkwo along with that transfer and then like Caden Jones. I thought that would be your inside linebacker room. So this is a lot better situation for Crimson Tide fans going into this season. As I kind of demonstrate, I'll show this from time to time. This is the overall defense. The stars indicate guys who started games last year for Alabama. That's a lot of returning starters. Now, they have a variety of snap counts, but this defense as a whole should be a force. And a lot of times we talk about just because you have returners coming back doesn't mean it's always positive. I think in this case it does. I think in this case it means that Alabama's defense is going to be better because of the experience and just the fact that they have more camaraderie with Coach Womack, right? Now, you're going up against some very good quarterbacks, and the schedule is daunting, but now you have experience. It was dangerous starting a freshman at Xavier Brown last year. A freshman at corner in the SEC? Damn, But he did it, and the guy grew up. Now, as I've been talking about the defense overall, Just really talented. And tomorrow, I'll talk about the secondary and the specialists. JS Web Music, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. Herman, good to see you. Rocket Town, what's up? North Alabama storm chase. I'll hit on that real quick before I talk about the Wolf players. Let's see if I can find it. Oops. Yeah, I don't know. I had a graphic yesterday where I was talking about the tide that binds. Basically, the docu-series on Fox Nation. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you watch it. It's like $9.99 to sign up for Fox Nation. I think this docu-series runs for the 2 months. I've watched it. I've watched each episode. The second episode came out yesterday. Efron, what's up, man? You've been a fan funder for 13 months. That's what's up, man. I appreciate it. That's a lot of support. Thank you. Ethan, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. But the docuseries was good yesterday. So episode 2 talks a lot about Coach Kalen DeBoer and kind of his journey and kind of the acceptance of taking this job and understanding the magnitude and him wanting to add his own wrinkles but still keep the standard and kind of build on the foundation that already exists here, right? He actually did warn the team about Vanderbilt. I know there's been a couple stories out there talking about that quote. He said Vanderbilt was going to be better than people thought. That Vanderbilt team was a lot better than anybody thought. In fact, there was 2 bad takes in that docuseries, and I said this yesterday. One was by Coach Saban, and the other one was by me. They've used a couple of my sound bites on the docuseries. Nothing fancy, just my voice. I think I'm in there. I might be in every episode, just like a tiny, like a 4 seconds. But Coach Saban, it was hilarious because I signed off on the paperwork. It's not a paid deal or anything. But I signed off on the paperwork, and I was like, yeah, just use whatever you need to use. It's all good. And yesterday, Coach Saban's like, Vanderbilt isn't a hard place to play at all. Out of all the teams in the SEC, and they lose. And then I come in like 2 seconds later after Coach Saban, I'm like, I'd be surprised if Vanderbilt scores 10 points. So I don't know whose take was worse. All right, let's talk about this Wolf position. It's kind of the outside linebacker. So when you look up here, this is the area. So Wolf, so here's your defensive tackle, your nose guard, your defensive lineman, the bandit position right here, your inside linebackers, as we've highlighted, your corners, your husky, and your safeties, okay? So now we're talking about this position right here. So what you want for a Wolf-type player is somebody that has extreme athleticism, who can get pressure on the quarterback, who's really good at stopping the run. This position requires so much athleticism, and as you look at every single player right here, what's up, Nicole? We see you inside the comment box. All these players have similar attributes, right? Whether you're going with Jameer and Lathan, I'm still interested to see why they moved him here with him coming back because, and no disrespect to him, but I think Qua Russaw would be the starter. So maybe that's an interesting position battle to watch. I'm not sure. But I think Quay, Yanze, Noah Carter, Cavante Henry, and Justin Hill all kind of similar in terms of the attributes that they bring, right? Good size. They have good weight on. They can move around with the size that they have. Like I praised Noah Carter's highlight tape so many times. This Justin Hill guy, I know that Yale Alabama has a feature on him. Yo, he's a monster. And Cavante Henry, I don't know if anybody's talked about him. Yo, he could play this year, like a lot. I just from the highlights that I saw, he's a little bit more experienced. So this whole group, and then with Jameer and Lathan moving from that bandit position, now the Wolf as he did in the back end of the season, this is another experienced group, at least for the 2 guys on the left. And you know when Yanze got in a couple times, he's good too. How are you guys feeling about this overall group right here on a scale of 1 to 10? I feel pretty excited about this group, to be honest. Scale of 1 to 10 on the Wolf position. 10, you're like elite. 7, you're like, yeah, pretty good. 5, need to see more. Me too, Roy. That's a guy I felt is in development. His mom sometimes pops on in the show. It's hard to play, your freshman year when you have Q-Rob, when you have Qua Russaw right ahead, right? And when Q-Rob went out, they moved Jameer and Lathan kind of to this position where he's now kind of stuck. See, a lot of people are really bullish again and excited and have high praise for the wolf position. Rightfully so. I mean, so we talked about inside linebackers in this wolf position today. Yo, get excited. The defense is coming with it. Christian Robinson coaches this position. I would love to coach this. I would either like to coach the wide receivers or this position. And the way I list it is usually in seniority. I don't know who will start. Maybe you get a good rotation within these guys because you did have rotation last year. You had Q as your starter. I thought Q Rob had a really good season. I always liked his game. Really big wingspan. Hey, Nietzsche gonna fix it. What's up, man? Myron, what's going on? LaShawn, what's up? 9.4. I like the specifics. That's how I am too. I don't know when they'll update heights and weights because I've been checking Alabama's football roster recently and it still hasn't been updated. Usually they do that right around the springtime. You know, like one of like the key guys, like a Charlie Potter or something like that, will update that. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm curious as well. I want to see like where Evan, some of these guys like Caden Proctor, like what is his updated height and weight? When we look at a player like Qua Russaw, like 6'2", think about this: 6'2", 250 pounds. Like him on the field, he does not look 250 pounds. He looks like he's 200 pounds. Or he moves like he's 200 pounds. He'll be a redshirt sophomore only. Played in 13 games, 6 starts, 403 snaps. That's a lot of playing time. I didn't know that he'd be this good. There was a lot of people, I think, I'm not going to say like I missed on this one. I just didn't anticipate him to be this good. He is exceptional. I think he'll be productive in the NFL. I think he hasn't even reached his ceiling yet. He is quality. Very talented player. Really happy to see him continue to have the career that he's having. He's a monster. And then I was looking at this. So Yay Alabama has a feature with Justin Hill, and he gave this quote out on why he committed to Alabama. Because I was thinking, man, this was a huge get for Coach Kalen DeBoer and his staff, considering he's not far from Columbus, Ohio State, and this guy is like fantastic. And even coming in, I don't know how much he plays this year, just because, as I explained, you have some vets at that spot. But he said this: I feel like the foundation and the standard of everything, the scheme and just how I'll be able to develop in the defense was big for me. All the guys who came here, you can see it with your own eyes. It's kind of a no-brainer. And that just tells you that not only he likes the schematics of the defense, but he sees the big picture as well. And the big picture is still the brand, and still this is the best vehicle, or one of them, that can get you to the NFL. You have 9 guys in the NFL Combine. You have all the first-round picks under Coach Saban. You have a couple this year under Coach Kalen DeBoer. Coach Kalen DeBoer has his own first-round picks as well. But he'll have, 2, I would say, this year? That's a good starting point. How many did Coach Saban have in his first career, in his first season here? Did he have 1? But people like Justin Hill, and you should too. Really, really humble cat who I think is just a fantastic pickup. So we'll see how it goes. So that's your inside linebacker and your wolf position preview going into the season. Yeah, February is kind of a month where, we get by the best we can, and we're kind of firing up the previews because you have spring football, which starts on Monday. So tomorrow we'll talk about the secondary and we'll talk about the special teams as well. And the early teaser on the secondary is, I think the secondary is in so much of a better position than they were at this time last year. Last year was pretty scary going into the season, or even the springtime, because all those guys had left, including Coach Saban, including Coach Robinson, right? Like you didn't know who the hell was going to start. You didn't know the coaches. Now you have guys who started coming back. Thank you, Jarvis. I appreciate it, bro. And now you have confidence in the secondary. And while we talked about the gauntlet that Alabama's going to have this season and all the challenging things that they're going to face like they do every single year, at least that this year they have, like this coming year, at least you have a secondary that I feel is capable and experienced enough to handle what the quarterbacks will be spinning. There's a lot of talent here, and we'll talk about some of these young cats as well that are coming in, right? Like Dejon Lee, I know we talk about Qua Russaw, and rightfully so, and I know we talk about Michael Carroll, and rightfully so. But Mustard over here at the bottom, I don't know. I don't know if he plays behind Damani or Xavier Brown. Mustard might be one of the better corners that Alabama's brought in a long time. Now, that says a lot. I'm serious. He's very, very talented. I'm sure he'll play this year. Storm Chase has a question. Does DeBoer have a long leash this year? What record short? So that's an interesting question. So North Alabama Storm Chase says, does Kalen DeBoer have a long leash this year? What record shortens that leash? I think the baseline clearly is getting into the playoffs, right? I feel that this team will be better than last year. Like if this year's team played last year's team, I think that this year's team wins. And I don't even know who the quarterback will really be. I think the defense will be better, and I think you just have better playmakers that are more experienced. And it's just the year two has kind of settled, and these guys will have more confidence because they've, a year under their belt with Coach Kalen DeBoer. The problem is making the playoffs is going to be ridiculously challenging unless you're 1 or 2 in the SEC. Now, is Alabama going to be 1 or 2 in the SEC? I don't know. With the schedule that they have, I think that this team might be better, but still kind of be on that fringe range of making the playoffs. So now you're looking at Alabama not making the playoffs for a consecutive year. That's not going to sit well, but I think the team will be better. So, look, Greg Byrne has done an amazing job with hiring. I think he understands the format of college football because they're not taking the best 12 teams into the playoffs. They have to make sure to take a team outside of the Power Four, right? They have to look at all the records as they're having a better record than a quality schedule. You want to play kind of a light schedule. That's why I always say, and I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous every single time I say it, but it would be better if Alabama went independent and got out of the SEC, at least for right now. You could still get a deal with NBC and piggyback playing your games after Notre Dame, because I'll already tell you teams that are in the playoffs next year. Notre Dame and either Boise State or UNLV. That's 2 teams that are already in the playoffs. Notre Dame's independent. They got to keep all that money. They didn't even have to split the money with the conference. It's Notre Dame. They're smart. They saw this a million miles away. That's why they don't want to join a conference for football. Can you imagine if Alabama just was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to get a mega TV deal with NBC, play right on the back of Notre Dame. We're going to schedule Auburn in the last game as a non-conference game, and we're going to fill up our schedule with, whoever we want from an independent value. People are still going to watch Alabama. People are still going to want to come to Alabama, and now Alabama is going to have more of a driver's seat to make the playoffs. So this coming year, based on the SEC, which is an absolute gauntlet of quality teams because of NIL and the transfer portal, it's going to be hard for anybody to make the playoffs, even Alabama, because of the schedule that they have. On the road at South Carolina, on the road at Georgia, on the road at Auburn. If they win all those games, hell yeah. But the reality is they might slip up in a couple of those games. They were undefeated at home, but this team didn't play well on the road. You have an opening season trap game against Florida State. That team is just trying to resurrect its program. They should be a better team this year. Bama hater, what's up? And the thing is, it is going to move. The playoffs is going to move to 16. That's what they're massaging us for, to move to 16. They want more and more teams in the playoffs. I don't know when it stops. 16 seems sufficient. But I think we go from 12 to 16. Shit, I don't know. Maybe it goes to 24 teams in the future. Who knows? I would have never thought that that spring football would be touched. I thought that was kind of like something that wouldn't ever be messed with. Here we are doing a modified game. What does a modified game mean? I don't know. Flag football? Probably not even that. Twan, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. Fred, what's up? Rich B's like, meh. So that's your Thursday show. And as news happens or like something mega, I'll come back online. These are also uploaded on the Spotify and the Apple Podcast. I appreciate you guys rocking with me during February too. I know it can get a little dry. We've talked about everything which way, but we have spring football coming up, which will give us a little bit more meat on the bone. And hopefully there's like an actual game of some sort at spring football. Who knows? Times are changing. We got to change with the times. But the same time, same place, you can catch me Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. live right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I sincerely appreciate you guys becoming fan funders, super chats, or just rocking with me inside the comment box. Drop a thumbs up on this video. If you're here in the rewatch, I know I love you too. All right? Gary, what's up, man? Fred, Rich B, a couple late joiners. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Scarecrow, what's up, man? I like that avatar. Even though I did like to watch the Eagles win the Super Bowl. That's what's up, man. I love me some Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Such a privilege to be able to talk Alabama football with you every single day right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a blessed day. Stay where your feet are at. Enjoy this beautiful thing called life. And I'll catch you next time right here on Bama Football on YouTube.